Most women focus on turning a man on physically, but that's not what makes him stay. There are 5 emotional triggers that make a man feel addicted to a woman, not because of how she looks or even how she loves, but because of how she makes him feel about himself. And, here's the twist, most of these have nothing to do with sex, romance, or typical relationship advice. In this video, I'll show you the 5 most powerful emotional turn-ons that speak to a man's soul. Turn-ons that stick in his mind and make him crave your presence long after the physical spark fades. Don't skip number 4. It's rarely talked about, and it can emotionally disarm even the most guarded man. 1. Believing in his potential. One of the most powerful emotional turn-ons for a man is when a woman sees his potential before he even reaches it. It's not just about supporting him where he is now, it's about recognizing the greatness in him that hasn't fully bloomed yet. When you genuinely believe in his future self and express that belief, you unlock a sense of deep emotional attraction. Men are wired to seek validation, but what makes this form of validation so profound is that it's rooted in the possibility of who they can become, not just who they are today. Imagine telling him, "I can see how successful you're going to be. You have what it takes to be a great leader," or "You're going to do amazing things." Words like these are like fuel for his ambition. They ignite his drive and make him feel capable and masculine. It taps into his core desire to grow and achieve, but it also creates a deep emotional connection between the two of you. The secret here is that when a man sees you as someone who believes in him beyond his present circumstances, he feels like he's not just in a relationship, but part of a partnership where his success is intertwined with yours. This connection is powerful because it makes him feel like his growth is inextricably linked to you. He begins to see you as someone who's not just supportive, but essential to his future, and that creates lasting obsession. He'll be driven to prove himself worthy of your belief, and in doing so, you become his source of inspiration, motivation, and strength. This belief in his potential becomes an anchor in his emotional world, and it's the kind of thing that makes him think about you constantly, especially when he's pushing toward his goals. Your presence isn't just a comfort, it's a reminder that with you by his side, anything is possible. This turn-on goes beyond the surface. It touches his ambition, ego, and sense of purpose. It's an emotionally profound way to draw him in and make him obsessed with the idea of growing with you, both as individuals and as a couple. 2. When you witness his private world without judging it. Every man has a part of himself he keeps hidden. It could be the cluttered garage where he works on old projects, the anime he secretly watches to decompress, the playlist he created in college that still gives him chills. These things might not make sense to the outside world, but to him, they matter. When you're allowed into that world, it means something. He's letting down his guard. He's inviting you to see the part of him that isn't filtered, polished, or cool, and how you respond in that moment can either deepen the bond or break it. If you respond with genuine curiosity with phrases like, "That's so interesting, I love seeing this side of you," you're not just complimenting him, you're giving him emotional safety. You're showing him that he can be fully seen, quirks and all, without being laughed at or shamed. Even something as small as how he organizes his books or the way he always folds his clothes a certain way, those are tiny glimpses into his inner world, and when a woman not only notices them, but finds them endearing, it's like emotional foreplay. It triggers connection, comfort, desire. Because here's what most people don't realize. Men don't just want to be admired for their strength. They want to be embraced for their softness, for the parts they usually hide. And when you're the one person who sees that side and responds with acceptance, not judgment, you become unforgettable. This isn't about agreeing with everything he does. It's about honoring what's real to him. That kind of emotional intimacy is rare. And for a man, it's not just a turn-on, it's a heart magnet. 3. When you respect his silence. Sometimes the sexiest thing you can do is say nothing. We live in a world that expects constant communication, texts, check-ins, reassurance. But here's the truth most people overlook. Men often process emotions in quiet. Silence is not always a withdrawal. Sometimes it's a reset. When a man goes silent, most women feel the urge to fill that space, asking if something's wrong, if he's upset, or if she did something. It comes from a good place, care, connection. But to a man, that pressure to explain himself when he hasn't even processed his own feelings yet can feel overwhelming. It makes him shut down further. Now, imagine, instead, you just sit next to him without needing a single word. Or you send a calm, non-demanding message like, "Take your time, I'm here when you're ready." That's powerful. You're telling him, "I trust you. I'm not afraid of your silence. I don't need to be in control to feel secure." That kind of energy, it's rare, and it turns a man on emotionally. It makes him feel like he doesn't have to perform his feelings for you. He can be quiet and still feel loved. And when you master the art of the quiet presence, the ability to sit in peace with a man's stillness, you'll be shocked how often he comes towards you ready to open up just because you gave him the space to do it. Or when you make him feel like a mystery, too. We hear it all the time. Be mysterious, keep him guessing. But here's something women rarely talk about. Men want to feel like a mystery, too. Yes, men love being understood, but what emotionally excites them even more is when a woman wants to understand them. When she doesn't just scratch the surface, but asks deeper, layered questions. Questions like, what do you think people misunderstand about you most? What were you like before the world told you who to be? These aren't just conversations. These are invitations into the hidden rooms of his soul. Rooms he may not even visit himself that often. And when you show curiosity without assumption, you give him permission to be more than the role he plays. He starts to feel seen as a whole being, not just as a boyfriend, a protector, or a provider, but as a layered, evolving, complex man. This emotional turn-on is about discovery, not decoding him like a puzzle, but admiring him like a piece of art you'll never fully finish exploring. That sense of mystery, when directed at him, feels electric. 5. When you let him see your dark side without apologizing for it. Here's the truth. Men aren't emotionally turned on by perfection. They're drawn to rawness. We all have contradictions. You can be strong and sensitive, confident and insecure, kind and fed up. But a lot of women are taught to edit themselves to seem easier to love, to hide their anger, their ambition, their past mistakes. But when a woman owns all of herself, even the parts that aren't pretty or polished, it's magnetic, not because she's dramatic or reckless, but because she's real. Imagine saying something like, "Sometimes I shut down when I feel too much, not because I don't care, but because I care too much." And then just leaving it there. No over-explaining, no softening it. That level of emotional truth creates an irresistible pull. It tells him, this woman isn't performing. She's not pretending, she's living. That kind of rawness inspires emotional obsession because it gives him permission to stop pretending too. So stop trying to be the version of yourself that's easiest to love. Be the version that's truest. That's what turns him on in a way he'll never forget. If physical chemistry is what starts the spark, emotional turn-ons are what make it burn for real. Be the woman who triggers his mind, not just his senses. If this video shifted how you see attraction, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and tell me in the comments which emotional turn-on surprised you most. You might just be the reason someone falls in love differently.